Was that the recon ship putting fire
Fucking
down?
hell, there's a fucking bunch of them just arrived. Jesus. Right, I'm gonna put our combat
You were
vessel.
too slow.
Yeah, I'm gonna put our combat vessel up close, and then bring in our. Oh fucking hell! Fuck's sake! Well, I don't think we're going to be rescuing anybody from this base.
This is level 5.
Jesus
right?
Christ! Right. Well, that's how not to do a rescue mission.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of the Crystal A Fail Masterclass. This is where Introversion lifts up the rug, finds a game that was carelessly discarded, and we have a look at it, take it apart, try and figure out what went right, try and figure out what went wrong. And then we make a video about it, which is brilliant because we're very good at making videos. And then, better than the video, we let you play the game that we've just been looking at. Now we've done, 7 of these now?
We've done
8
7
of these?
Yeah, this is number 8.
This is number 8. So all 8 of our prototypes are available in a bundle from the Introversion website, introversion.co.uk/prototypes. We ask you to give us $5 or more if you feel that you're able. And all of the money that we get, we pass on to War Child, which is a fantastic charity looking after children around the world who've been affected by war. So,
Good shit. Oh, there's one other thing as well that I think it might be worth mentioning.
go on.
This is the penultimate fail masterclass.
There's only one more to go.
There is today, and then there is one more.
And there's one more. Well, we don't know that, mate, because just because you haven't failed at anything.
Well, that's true. Perhaps maybe this time next month there'll be a new game on the scrap heap.
That's right. You have an excellent record of failure.
Or swept under the rug, if you want to mix our metaphors properly.
Don't do yourself down. And when we record the next video, England will be the proud owners of the European Cup.
That's right. That's right.
Guaranteed, isn't it?
It's pretty much guaranteed at this point. Yeah.
It is coming home.
Are you jinxing it?
Well,
You're jinxing it, aren't you?
I'm not jinxing it.
You're doing the same thing that we always do every time, right? You're getting your hopes up, and you're forgetting your history.
I haven't had my double vaccination against optimism.
There's been an outbreak.
There's been an outbreak across the United Kingdom.
I think that you need to isolate, mate, and think hard on that optimism, right? And just remember.
Yeah, exactly. How many years it's been since '66? Long, many years. But anyway, no one here is interested in football. I shouldn't imagine. So what are we looking at
this week? We are going to look at Praxis.
Praxis.
Yes. So it is the final space game from the collection.
Right.
Can you actually believe that? I'm obviously a sucker for punishment, and last year I decided, right at the beginning of lockdown, actually, right around March or April last year, I decided that I was going to have another crack at making a rip-roaring awesome space game about constructing things in space. I just don't fucking learn.
What could go wrong?
I just don't learn.
What could go wrong?
Well, I think I've got long optimism. That's my problem.
Long optimism.
Yes.
Long optimism.
I had optimism when I was younger. Now I've got long optimism, and it's a chronic condition, and it won't fucking go away. And I just keep thinking that if I just try once more with this space game idea, maybe this will be the one. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's dive in.
Actually, have you got the date wrong? Or are we genuinely exactly a year since you made it?
Holy shit, wow, look at that. That's a weird
coincidence. It is the 7th of July today.
Yeah. No, that is correct. This is a build from exactly 1 year ago today. So
there we go, 365 days later.
Yeah, so I decided this. I've got to be honest, I was having a bit of fun with this game, right? Yeah. I mean, it was the start of lockdown, and I thought to myself, let's just do something that's just awesome fun, Let's just have a ton of fun making a flight model, making a ship that you can fly around. Because I spent a ton of time just getting these flight controls awesome,
Right.
Just making it so that you could whiz around asteroids and I know you can't really feel it because you're watching it over like a video stream, but there's something to be said for very satisfying space controls,
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so what can we actually do in this pod then? Right, so we've done some whizzing around and some flying around and crashing into asteroids and stuff. You can see we've got some nice little mineral patches on here. This is going to be the source of all of our resources that we need, right? So as a construction game, we're going to make everything out of metal and minerals, right?
Yeah, okay.
Which we can mine without.
We're going
to start from nothing, right? There's only two here. There's this is like a metallic minerals patch. So I can zap these things with my mining laser, and you can see there's like a little sucking arm on the left. Sort of sucks everything up. So when I did all this, I really wanted it to feel like a really satisfying physical experience.
Right, yeah, these sort of visceral.
Yeah, exactly.
Visceral space mining. You are in this pod.
Yeah, almost like the opposite of like the Deep Space Industrial's approach to mining. We're doing the same thing. We're just mining metal and minerals and stuff off an asteroid. But the feel of it is very different when you're kind of doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And also, I guess having it as a 3D physicsy thing makes a difference as well. I mean, if you get bored with just mining crystals directly, you can just smash your ship into the crystals.
Right. Okay. That. This procedure is not recommended.
Yeah. And again, I know you can't hear the sound effects or anything like that, but you just get this really nasty crunching sound.
Right.
And you get a ton of minerals bursting. Off the node, but they're all kind of flying out into space, so you have to go chasing after them, like a little bit of challenge and reward, So, what can we actually do with this? So we've mined some metallic minerals and we've mined some crystals and stuff. What can we actually do with this stuff? Well, in the back of our pod, we've got like a little portable refinery and fabrication plate, right? Like a 3D printer.
Okay.
So we've got some recipes here. So this is our inventory, right? So in our inventory, we've got some minerals and silicate crystals. So I can tell my pod to start mining, to start refining those minerals into metal, right? So this is your basic construction route of essentially iron into metal that you find in just about every building game under the sun right now, from Minecraft to Factorio to Praxis. And that thing will just sit there bubbling away in our pod whilst we're flying. I quite wanted to have this feeling that your pod is like a bootstrap device, because you can do all this stuff later with a whole factory that you've built on an asteroid somewhere, as with
it's like the microcosm of mining.
Yeah, it's like
full whack,
just like in Satisfactory or Factorio or any game like that. At the beginning of the game, you're going to do it yourself manually, and then after a while, you're going to realize that that's far too tedious, and that you're going to automate the whole thing away. So that thing will just bubble away. Our little fabrication panel on the right can build... Okay, I keep hearing your dogs. Right?
Sorry.
So if I pick any of these things to make, like, say, mechanisms, right? So mechanisms are made out of metal, and you can see this little 3D printer just sits there whirring away.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And that'll just make mechanisms for us. So in our inventory screen, you'll see our... crystals coming in from mining, and then our refining thingamajig is making more metal for us, and then our printing device is making more mechanisms, right? And so
so mechanism is just a generic...
Mechanism is like a key ingredient for, if you look at all the things that we can build, say a laser is built out of 6 metal, 2 mechanisms, and a control circuit.
Okay.
Right? A cannon, same, right? A docking port is made out of metal and mechanisms, right? So everything's listed with some quite a small list of key ingredients, to be honest. I didn't want it to be some mad Factorio level, huge numbers of intermediate components, but there's definitely a construction tree to be managed, So should we have a crack at building an actual ship?
Let's do it.
Because we're going to need a ship that's, as a basic starting ship, is going to be able to fly around and blow things up, right? Because we're going to start with some missions from our mission manager that involve hunting down maybe this destroy pirate gang, difficulty 1, or maybe escort convoy, difficulty 2.
Yeah,
something like that, right? It's going to be a combat mission, but we might not be on our own, but we need to be able to, at least defend us.
Look after ourselves, yeah.
Yeah. So let's build a ship, right? So basics of a ship. You can build a ship anywhere. You just start like this. You just start by clicking. Now, I spent an inordinate amount of time making this shipbuilding interface, right, and making it awesome. This sort of thing is really hard to get right, you know. I've played quite a lot of construction games where I felt the construction tools were a bit naff, you know. And it's like the core of the game. So everything from like the maneuverability of the pod that I'm driving around, like the way I can just whiz around this ship in 3D, you know. Like I didn't want it to be like you're running Blender or 3D Max, you know.
Yeah.
This is you're in a physical place. So this frame, in order to make this an actual thing that we can control, we need to put a computer on board, which is called a flight control computer. Right?
The FCC.
An FCC. And you can see I can rotate it. And its axis there tells us what direction the ship is going to face.
Okay.
In other words, what's going to be considered as the front.
Blue is forward, is it?
Blue is forward. There we go. So I've attached a computer to the ship. It's now a thing. Right? I can push it around. It has physics.
That's cool, isn't it? That's very cool.
Yeah. I can smash into it.
That is hard as well. I can imagine that's very hard.
Yeah, so that's like part 2 of the whole thing. I wanted the world to be like feel like had real physics running behind it, you know. Space physics, obviously, zero gravity physics.
Nonetheless,
and I can get into that ship, right? You can see in our list of controllable vessels, world structure is now on the list, right? This thing here, and I can click on it, and oh shit, yeah. So before I do that, well, if I click on it, it just tells me no camera, right? That's probably a bit of a hint.
What can it mean? How can we resolve
hint
that?
About what we should do next. So let's have something like this. So I wanted to have it so that you can view your ship from wherever you place a camera, right? So if I put a little camera there, that is going to be where we view it from. But there's nothing to stop me putting a camera like way out on the side. Like, I can have a little side wing sticking all the way out like this.
Might make it a bit trickier to control.
Well, let's try it, shall we? Let's try underneath. Let's go completely mental. Why not?
Why not?
All right, so here we are on our world structure.
That's very cool.
Can't do anything, right? There's our pod, right? There's us.
Hello.
Hello. And I can use the number keys to flick between my different cameras as well, right? So there's our wide shot camera. Can't do anything yet because it doesn't have any engines, doesn't have any guns, doesn't have anything of the sort. All it is like an adrift in space piece of metal.
Yeah, the fuselage.
Yeah, and the symmetry of that's going to drive me mad unless I do the same on that side. There we go. That's going to be our ship, I think.
Cool.
Let's wedge that thing up a little bit more. Right, so to get some manoeuvring, we're going to need some engines. And to power our engines, we're going to need a reactor. Quite a simple construction model, nothing too fancy. There's no cabling or anything. There's no wiring to worry about. I want it to be quick and simple to make ships, I want it to be a game because I kind of know that if people get their hands on this, or when people get their hands on this, a lot of people are going to feel quite creative and just be able to make all kinds of ships.
And fly them around.
And
do these missions.
Which is cool. But I also didn't want it to be, it's quite sandboxy, but I wanted there to be a specific purpose to it as well,
Well, I think that's one of the important things that we've realised, or certainly that I've realised, that in order for an engineering game or building game to sort of have a purpose, I think there's got to be something that tests that engineering. There's got to be the opposite.
Yeah, you've got to have something to trial your machinery against.
Yes, exactly, and the decisions that you've made and how they're gonna plan out in the environment that sits within the game. So
yeah,
I think that you're definitely onto something. What is this? Are you trying to mine your own?
Yeah, I left the mining laser on. Right, so here we are. There's our pod again, and we're on our ship, and now I can maneuver. Right. So I can fly this thing around. It's very, very light, and it's got 2 engines, so I can actually fly it really quickly. Again, I tried to make the flight model really quite sort of satisfying to mess around with. So you can do crazy maneuvering like this. I kind of wanted it to be... Because you can see the mass of the ship and the thrust and the torque have already been calculated based on just how big the ship is, right? If we built something small, with a ton of engines, it's going to be really fast and it's going to feel like a Viper out of Battlestar Galactica, you know, doing like crazy 360-degree turns on the spot. Whereas if you built some sort of massive mining pod with a bunch of heavy equipment on board, then it's going to maneuver like a pregnant whale, basically. Right, let's take it back to our pod.
What's that? That looked like target practice to me.
Yeah, we'll get to them in a second. Right, that's something for us to test our weapon systems out. Oh, and again, I can move cameras whilst I'm flying. I can still fly from here, even though it's a really weird angle to fly from. Oh shit! Okay.
Oh, bloody hell!
Yeah, nearly.
Nearly took out the camera.
Pretty cool, that, isn't it?
That is very cool.
Yeah, so one of the interesting problems with this game is actually if you're in combat and your camera gets blown up, you're a bit fucked.
Yeah, right.
So you end up have to have backup cameras. Right, back to the pod. All right, so let's make this ship. Let's arm it, shall we?
To the teeth.
Arm it to the teeth. Let's have some forward laser batteries. Maybe like this.
Definitely like that.
This.
Yeah.
Again, had a lot of fun making this game. You know, I felt this was a bit of a. I'm not going to say palate cleanser because it's another space game. It's another fucking space mining game and building, but
it's another main course.
It's very making this game is a very different experience to making Deep Space Industrial. You know, because I spent a ton of time just messing around with 3D models and 3D physics, and it's kind of like the first time I feel that I actually got the hang of Unity as well.
Well, and we've said this, haven't we, throughout this project, that Unity does get you places quickly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely gives you this sort of thing quite quick, like alarmingly quick, actually. Just how much Unity gives you to take care of all this sort of thing. Right, so we're on board our ship. We've got some lasers now. You can see in the bottom left of the screen, that's a list of our controllable assets, right? Our engines and lasers. So you were right to point out there are some targets in the world. These things, waste barrels. And in fact, I can double click on the waste barrel and we can take a look at it up close. Here's our waste barrel up close.
All right, okay.
And that's the ship that we're...
Souls of Darwinians pouring out into space.
Yeah, it does look a bit like that, doesn't it? So I can actually still fly my ship from here, right? I'm actually controlling the ship right now from this remote view, right? So I can do those mad Viper maneuvers, like, woo!
Wow, okay. I've got no idea how
I'm using the keyboard.
What axis you're controlling that on.
It's still all from the point of view of the ship. The camera just happens to be anchored at a weird place, right?
Okay.
But I can control it. I'm actually using the keyboard. But yeah. So back to our ship. Where'd that target go? There it is. Right. So if I click on a laser, right, and then I get this targeting crosshair, I can.
You were having a lot of fun, weren't you?
Yeah. All right. And I can do it other ways as well. I can click on multiple laser turrets at once, so they're all flashing, and target it like that.
Yeah, do that.
Or I can also target it. Yeah. So
I like the tracking.
Let's try that, shall we?
Pew pew pew.
I know you can't hear any sound effects, but
I can't. I've got to do my own.
Didn't work at all. Yeah. So these these gun turrets actually track. Wherever I maneuver my ship to,
they look really cool.
You can see that they're pointing, and you see in the bottom left, it's telling me this column is the angle between the gun turret and the target. Right?
Okay.
So red means you're going to miss. Right? So if I maneuver really quickly,
that's nice as well.
Like this,
look.
Right? Yeah, the gun turrets have got a certain rate that they can turn at. Right?
Yeah,
once they're locked, we can tell them to go ahead and do their worst. But only the ones that can see the target will actually fire. Right, obviously. All right, that seems to be working. So let's have some cannons as well. Right, so these are like gatling guns, right? These are fast-firing machine guns, ridiculously inaccurate, but very good at close range, good for shredding armor and stuff. Let's go for. So I mean, obviously, I'm cheating at this point just by having everything unlocked and unlimited resources.
You'd have to work up to.
I don't know whether that was obvious. I already accepted the mission, didn't I?
Yeah, it was a heavy frigate.
Right, good. Okay, so we have got...
Oh, in a nebula.
We're in a nebula, a gaseous
Z
nebula.
minus 100 degrees.
Yeah,
100
the
degrees, 100
the
whatever.
Romulans are here doing gaseous anomaly analysis. All right, well, where's the? There we go. So these are the big enemy ships, right? So these are what we're going to focus on.
What are you waiting
Capital
for?
Ships.
Open fire. Oh,
all right. So there's no point if I fire my lasers at this guy. If I just say, yeah, let's do that, and that. And that. There we go. So my lasers will track and shoot at that target. Right? But you see that's the moment their shields go down, right? Once their shields go down, we can actually damage the ship itself.
Right.
And then the shields pop back, right? So when the ship's got a shield up like that, the lasers don't do it any damage at all.
Okay.
They just impact the shield. And our shield behaves the same. Right, so that's the shield down. So at the moment their shield is down, they'll actually start taking damage again. So I can press space and pause at any time. Right?
But you can still target your weapons and things, so you've got a sort of strategic.
Yeah, so they've got like 4 laser turrets on top, and you can actually see their shield emitter right there. So
let's target our weapons on that.
Let's target our weapons on the shield emitter. That's a good idea. So
Definitely.
let's target our cannons at that shield emitter, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Boop.
But I'm not going to tell them to fire yet because we only have 1,000 rounds of ammo.
Yeah.
So we're going to wait. There we go. Shields are down.
Open fire.
Pause game. Auto fire with the gatling guns.
Oh, that must have taken out his shields.
That did the
must
trick.
have done.
And now it's that looks pretty wrecked.
Have it. Oh, you just keep. You're not taking any prisoners, are you?
No. Right, there we go. That's that guy dead.
Brilliant.
We wrecked him. See, again, in keeping with the general idea that I was just having a lot of fun, I spent a lot of time making it so that your enemy ships actually broke apart and flew into pieces, and the space is filled with debris. What else do we have? So we've got 1 enemy frigate remaining. That's going, and 1 fighter as well. This might be a good time for us to try our missiles out.
Where are they?
They're off the bottom of the screen. Do you like that?
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Good interface design.
Yeah. All right, there's our missile. In fact, we can actually trace our mission along on it. Our missile is fight. I actually fired at the wrong target. I've only just realised. I misclicked and targeted our own friendly.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's the difficulty of combat. It's
fog of war, mate.
Exactly. Really? I got the red mist and everything.
You can't be expected to just only target the enemy.
Right. Let's target that enemy fighter, shall we? So I can actually. This is the fighter. There's not actually that much left of it. But I think we might just want to. There you go.
You can smash it with another missile.
This is our missile. Incoming. Right, that's a kill. All right, back to our ship and
final.
What's going on?
Frigate.
So we've got. This is our friendly heavy frigate, and you can see they're just trading laser fire with each other.
Taking fire, yeah.
And we've got and another heavy frigate. Right. Well, let's see. We've actually got. I mean, there's 3 of us now, so we should be fine here. Let's.
What's going on with his shields? They're down. They look down.
Let's get a bit closer so you take a look. Actually, you can always double click on it and take a look up close. Oh yeah, he's taking a slamming.
Look at that. That's really satisfying.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. So I made every single part in the game. I made break apart in pieces. Right. So he's quite heavily armored, but so the armor will take most of the impacts to start with. But each one of these, like the gun turrets and everything, will all break apart into small pieces and shatter into bits of wreckage. As and when.
I love that effect. So what counts as destruction then once the computer's taken out?
No, I mean that'll disable a ship, and I think they just have a certain amount of. I actually can't remember. They have a certain amount of like hull structural integrity.
Okay.
And then after that point, they're done for. Let's finish them off with some. Finish them off with some missiles.
He can't take much more.
It's off the bottom of the screen.
Can't take much more.
Right, let's finish him off with the autocannon then. There we go. There he goes. And we've upgraded to combat rank 6 as a result of that kill as well. Yeah, there we go. That was a successful engagement. All right, so we can return home. Right, let's do a mining mission. I was explaining that there's a whole other side to the game, which is like resource production and mining and refining and stuff. Let's do one of those, because there's a few different archetypes of missions, right? Let's look for... no... Mine raw materials. Our economy has an insatiable need for raw materials. Luckily, you're... No. I want to... Here we go. Secure precious metal asteroid. That sounds better. Okay. There is an asteroid sitting in space filled with extremely valuable precious metals. Go there and mine it. Unfortunately, the location has become more widely known, so you should expect hostile units to try and steal the ore. Okay? So we're going to mine an asteroid in another star system, but we're probably going to have company. So let's go and let's accept that and jump to mission. So we're in. This is the mission location. Our asteroid is up there. Right, so let's go and have a look at it. So I've just jumped there in the pod. Right. There's no enemy ships here yet, so there's nothing to worry about yet. Here we go. So this is our precious metals asteroid. It's got a slightly different sheen to it, and it's got these little mineral nodes.
Green patches, yeah.
So we can just build on this asteroid, right? Just like any other. So I'm going to build a little frame.
Okay.
Using my pod. There's various different ways I could complete this mission, but I'm going to do this with a in-place production facility. I might regret that later when a bunch of ships show up, but that's all right. We're going to roll with it. So this is what... here we go. Automated mining. There we go. So these guys, they've just got the exact same kit that we've got on our mining
just
pod,
like a
right?
pod, yeah.
They've got like a mining laser
yeah.
and a hoover, basically. I think we've got some cheat codes turned on because that should have required a reactor, but didn't. Let's do some little bit of... Right, so they are mining precious ore. But we need precious metal, which means there's going to be a refining phase.
Okay, you've got to smelt that.
We're going to need to smelt that shit. So let's get some power down, because I know we're going to need that. So refining, I could do it on board my own ship, obviously. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to build a little extension here. Oh, that does feel satisfying to do that. There we go. That'll do. Possibly, I don't require you to do this sort of thing, you know, like physics stuff.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I always feel a bit bad if I don't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do some. So refineries have got this kind of look. So you can see again, I'm using the same sort of visual iconography. Like this refinery thing on board there is exactly the same as the refinery beer keg that we have in the back of our ship. So how do I get the minerals from that patch up to there? Well, I need some robots. I need some little drones. I need a drone tower. So if I plonk down a drone tower, like
nice, I like that.
And then
swarm.
Yeah, and then if I select each of these pods, so I can click on these to control them, and I need to select the recipe, refine precious ore. There we go, for each of them. So I can show you something else. This is cool, right? So whilst that's happening, if I jump home and cheat, I'm going to reload some. I'm going to load some ships that I've built previously.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to say give ships, and I've got a bunch of new ships appeared in the system, and this is the one I'm particularly interested in because this is a mining barge that I constructed. Right. It looks like it needs some. It needs some power. I think I must have added power after I designed this ship. So this is it, right? So you can see it's actually a bunch of mining devices that were on the asteroid at the front, and a bunch of refineries and storage. So the whole purpose of this ship is just to mine. Right?
To jump in plonk it on the asteroid and let it do its thing.
Exactly, because there's more than one way to perform these kinds of missions. Jump to mission. All right, now this, even with all of that, is quite a lot slower.
As you'd expect.
You can just see the space battle occurring in the background. So we don't need to worry about any of that stuff that's going on there. We can go straight for, let's find a nice exposed mineral patch. There's going to be a bit of manoeuvring here. There we go. That one will do. That one right there in the centre.
Yeah, I see it.
Now I'm going to manoeuvre my ship so that that's directly underneath. At least I'm going to try to. I think I've got another camera. There we go. I've got another camera. This is the underside camera. That's the mineral I'm aiming for.
Yeah. You've got like a docking camera, haven't you?
There we go. Right.
That's
So I've
nice.
manoeuvred
really
the ship
cool.
into position.
Yeah.
Let's bring our pod in. Jump to mission. Yeah, lost my bearings. There we go. It's up here. Yeah, so there's our mining vessel in place, right? And so if I need to select these things and say refine precious ore on each of these. Refine precious ore, and I just need to add a drone tower, I think. There we go. All right. So this ship, and probably storage as well. Yeah, now, interesting. We've actually already mined a ton of precious ore. I'm completely ignoring, by the way, the enormous enemy fleet that has walked in around us.
Yeah, right. Just desperately hope we can get it. Yeah, because we've got like...
We've got a load
2,000.
already. Yeah, we've got a load already sorted. So I just need to set these to store precious ore. And then if I go to these things and set their desire to 0, right, they happen to be full of precious ore, but I'm telling the drones now to get rid of it.
Right.
So they'll now take it out of those silos and move it into the silos on board the ship. All right. And let's have another drone tower. There we go.
I like the drones, you know. I think
they're cool,
they make the whole thing look really alive.
They bring it to life, don't they?
Yeah. It's very cool this because like we're at 2,140 and you can see like the enemy ship in there. Like, I'm getting that exciting feeling, right?
Yeah.
You know.
We might want to do something about that, mightn't we? Right. Completely out of missiles. No. It's very easy to wrong click. Here we go. Let's try some of this.
There's a lot of enemy in there now.
Also, our asteroid is not entirely defenseless, is it? It's cool seeing the lasers and stuff.
Yeah, tracking and targeting.
Tracking targets. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing all that, doing the maths. See how cool does that look? That looks
It
cool.
looks very, very cool. It does look very cool.
Yeah, defensive turrets on an asteroid. They're a good idea, but they've obviously got. They can't maneuver. You know, like that gun battery cannot turn around and hit targets that are out of its field of fire. You know, so it just kind of does the best that it can. We're actually taking a bit of a pounding now, aren't we?
Well, that's because we spent so long dicking around trying to work it.
So long trying to figure out.
It's like...
Yeah, it's you. Oh, there's a frigate here. Okay, right, we're gonna have to deal with that. Right, you come here. Right, I might just try something. This is quite cool, isn't it? Manoeuvring around our asteroid belt. So that as a mining operation's going on over there.
I think you've really captured like a chaotic
of space
battle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have enough ammo to finish him off. We've only got 7 bullets left.
Oh no.
Yeah. Right, let's leave him on the trail. Back to the pod. Right. Okay.
Fail.
Let's take what we have here. Right. So I can see that the drones are just unloading this box. Once that's unloaded, we're going to bang out. Okay.
Okay.
there's going to be an emergency bang out, because I think that we're going to get smashed to pieces in a second if we don't leave now. It's quite interesting, isn't it, that we actually ran out of ammo in this mission, and we're not able to properly defend our mining operation.
Yeah, it's good though. I mean, it shows like that you've got the balance right.
Yeah.
And because often I think when you're giving these demos, because you sort of know what you're doing, like, and you make it look easy, whereas actually it's kind of like, well, it is worth having another crack at this because it didn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. Mining barge has returned home.
Well.
With 1,000 material on board. Pod, return home. What else? I'm not going to bring the asteroid home.
That's the cheap way of completing that mission.
Yeah. So here's our mining barge. It did take a bit of a slamming. We lost every one of our drones as well because we left them behind in a hurry. It's definitely had some damage. But we've got a third of the way there. We lost 2/3 of it when one of our silos got blown up. I can still end the mission, and we'll still be paid fractionally.
Some of it.
We'll be paid for a third of the return. So that is the end of the mining mission. All right, so we're back in the home system. We've had a look at combat missions and escort missions, and we've done a mining mission. There's various other types of that. There's one other key mission type that we haven't looked at yet, which is anything that involves civilians or people. Right. Like, I wanted to make some missions where you could kind of rescue people. It's not like a colony game. Like, I didn't want to make it so you could build ships that are actually designed to house, like, large numbers of people that are living somewhere permanently. Yeah. I did want to be able to move actual people around.
Like a commodity with a bunch of requirements.
Yeah,
like
that's
support
right.
requirements.
That's right, exactly. And so, because it leads to another completely different type of ship as well. Like we've seen our combat vessels that are like bristling with lasers and missile turrets and stuff. And we've seen there's the mining vessel that we used with all its
mining
kind of
barge
mining rigs and stuff. Looks kind of cool. I always kind of liked it. But there's another sort of ship that we're going to need, and that is this one. And here's one I made earlier. Once again, right? This is a kind of civilian rescue ship. So these pods at the front, these are our life support pods.
Right.
You can see there's even emergency seating.
They're your lifeboats.
It basically is. Yeah, it's a lifeboat, and it's all built around this stuff, right? These tubes and they're kind of like walkable tubes that people can move down.
Yeah, like your docking ports. They look very cool as well.
Yeah, thanks. So travel to the system and evacuate all the scientists who live and work there before they are killed. So let's jump into our transport ship. And I'll say jump to mission. All right, so we've got an asteroid base here. I mean, you can see we've got a bunch of people awaiting rescue in these pods, right? So I've got to try and dock this thing with that base before the enemy fleet rocks up.
I saw a little cross.
Yeah,
there we go.
This is our docking alignment tool, right?
Yeah, very nice. I like it.
So that's the target. Obviously, we need to align, but it's very hard to eyeball that. And so
put a camera on top of the.
I can do that, right? I've got a camera, but it's still really hard to align, right? Because you still can't really tell where you are. Also, the controls here are a bit weird because pressing forward here moves us in that direction. Right,
okay.
So the diamond is where we're actually aiming currently, right? So I can put the diamond on target.
Holographic display.
Holographic overlay.
I like the fact that we go between like Star Wars and then to like 1960s NASA docking.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
all in the service of having fun.
Yeah, well, the combination of the two. So the horizontal and vertical lines is where the ship is aligned on the axis as well. So if I can turn the ship left and right, and that moves the vertical line.
Okay, right? I see.
And I can roll the ship.
Yeah.
And that moves that line. And so if we get to the point where those are perfectly aligned, for example, then that means we're completely parallel to the docking port now.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can just move laterally in the line, and it will all work out just fine, hopefully.
Yawing your way in, very difficult manoeuvre.
Well, I wanted this to be quite tense,
Well, it is. I'm definitely tense.
And if there was an enemy fleet shooting at us, it would be even more tense at this point, right? There we go. We have alignment.
Woo!
All right, I'm just going to bring the pod over. So, jump to mission. Yeah, so whilst we're waiting for those guys to transfer over, they are moving over now. We can probably chat about why did we give up on this game, right?
See, this game, when I look at it, it looks really good. It looks like a lot of fun. I feel as if there's a mission template in there, which is a structure that we used before in Uplink that I felt worked really well.
Yeah. The mission board is the Uplink mission board. Isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, it feels as if there's a great difference between the ships that you're flying in and you in the pod. You know, it gives you an indication of where this game is going.
Cram in, use every available space. Move all the way down the carriage before taking a place. Yeah.
It's not COVID for them, is it?
No, it's not COVID safe at all, this rescue mission.
So, but why did you abandon this one?
Well, I think that the root of the problem. What's the root of the problem? The root of the problem is that it looks lovely, and I do like its look, and I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making all the ship graphics and making all the 3D modeling, and I love doing all the space physics and everything. Like I almost made that same mistake that we made in Subversion, where I'm having more fun than the gamers are ever going to have by nerding out building it. The root of the problem is that there isn't enough construction complexity to make the ships interesting. Right? The model that I went with, I designed it to be as simple as possible to build a ship really quickly, right? Which is a noble aim. But this transport craft, I can make it into a gunboat. Right? I can just get lasers, and I can just put lasers all along this top like this. Right? There we go. And I don't know, a shield generator or two like this, right? And all right, there isn't enough power for all these lasers. You can see the front ones have gone out, so that's a problem. So I'll just put some more reactors on. There you go. I've solved that problem.
Yeah.
So that's now a formidable gunboat that can also do rescue missions. And if I really want to go nuts, I can extend this frame here out to the side, and I could put some mining drones on the end like this. Right? And now it's a mining ship as well. So because I went for a very simplistic construction model, I took away any real satisfying depth in our ship design,
Yeah.
So like a key principle of ship design is really the visual look of the ship, where I'm often drawn to making it look kind of Star Warsy and cool. But this could just be a giant flat barge. It could be a flat, boring box, a Borg cube if you like, with guns on top and mining barges down one side and habitation on the other side. And it would be just as functional. So when you realise that, there isn't really any difference between this civilian rescue ship and the mining barge that we were messing around with earlier.
Yeah, and the battleship.
They're all kind of the same. So I could have gotten around that by making it so that you have to wire the reactors in much more detail, right? I could have had it so the reactor could have been a more complex device, and it could have required like a Factorio-style conveyor belt, right, of fuel rods being pushed into the reactor. And then I could have had it so you have to wire the reactors in by drawing wires down the side of your ship and connect them up to everything. And that would have added a level of construction complexity, and that would have made it harder but more satisfying to build bigger ships. And some games do that. But why didn't I do that? Right? There's a good question. Can you figure out the answer?
Well, because building the ships was supposed to be quick and easy.
Yeah.
And
quick and dirty and easy. And what else? What happens when you're in combat?
Oh, stuff gets blown off.
Your ships get blown to shit, right? So because I got dragged into the really visceral feeling of like when you take damage, I wanted things to explode, I wanted it to have this sort of effect, like shit, we're getting blown to pieces, all the physics that comes with it.
Oh, look at that, the people in space.
Yeah, exactly, cool. Right? It looks cool. You can understand how this is quite seductive from a game development point of view.
Yeah.
But it's the enemy of construction complexity, because if you, the player, have just spent like an hour building this ship and wiring it all in really carefully, and then you get hit by a missile and it blows the side out of your ship, then you're not going to accept that as a gamer. What you're going to do is you're going to reload your save game and try the mission again, and that's just bad game design.
I've this video recording session has gone over 2 days for a couple of reasons, and I was thinking about it yesterday afternoon. Like, I was really running out of things to say, and I was thinking, well, why is that? Why? Because often we're talking and it's fine, it's just flowing, but it's that, you're absolutely right. It's that level of complexity. It's kind of like, I'm watching you warp in. Oh, you need more lasers. We'll put more lasers on then. There's nothing to say about that. And now I'm watching you.
There's no choices to make as the gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have any interesting choices to make. You just sort of need everything on every ship.
Yeah.
And every player will put everything on every ship.
That's right. That's right. The absence of constraint means that this is not at its heart a space builder. It's trying to be.
Well, most space builders are like that, though. I mean, there are lots of games out there now, where you build spaceships, and they don't have any constraints either. And a lot of players do really get off on that feeling of being able to just build. So usually, though, they either have like factorial level complexity in like feeding fuel lines into everything and wiring everything up, or they have more like a sandbox where you can build any size ship you want. You can build Battlestar Galactica, or you can build the Death Star, but there's no real mission board. There's no real enemy fleet to fight or any kind of structured objectives. It's just up to you to decide what to build, and that appeals to like the pure Lego kit lovers. They just want to build and build and build and build, and don't really care, because people invest hours and hours building a giant warship in a game that has no enemy ships. And then there's another whole batch of games where you get given a fixed ship, and you can't really change your ship. It's not a construction game, and you've got like 5 places where you can mount a gun turret, and it's your choice what gun turret to mount, but you can't really build the ship in any real sense. And that's what tends to happen with ship combat games, and your ship's health is just a 0 to 100. You don't have any of this like intricate destruction model that I built.
Yeah. And so there's a underlying question then about that comes back to the sorts of games that we want to build. The sorts of games that we want to make at Introversion. And for me, I've not got much to say about this.
Yeah. The Lego. Well, you've always hated the Lego kit, haven't you?
I have, yeah, I have.
You've never been interested in the Lego kit style game, and to be honest, neither have I, beyond the initial excitement. I always find it, because I have the same thing. Like, my kids will play Minecraft all day. Like, they'll just play Minecraft. They never, ever get bored of it. And I'm not going to slate Minecraft, because I think it's probably, like, the best game ever made.
Yeah.
But I can't spend years and years building houses in Minecraft. To me, like, I need to see some. Oh, fucking hell, that looks good.
It does.
Damn, I invested so much time in making destruction work really well in this game. Making everything break apart into pieces. I feel like this game would win the screenshot war.
Yeah,
quite often our games just don't look that great in screenshots. Like, not this one. There's no problems with this one.
Well, I think that's enough exposition. I think it is time for you, dear viewer, to go to introversion.co.uk/prototypes and buy this game. And when you buy this game for $5 or anything more, $5 you will get all of the other games in the failure bundle. So that will kill some time, and you'll enjoy doing that. And all of the money we make from this we give to War Child. So we're not seeing a penny, but we hope that you very much enjoy playing Praxis and send us your screenshots.